This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description. Hello and welcome everyone to our 142nd session of HalloCasa. My name is Michael and today I'm talking to Paulo Lopes from Casaiberia in Portugal. Paulo, I have introduced you a couple of times already. I'm not going to do that again. I give you the floor. Who are you? Give us a quick overview to our audience.
Well, first of all, Michael, thank you again for having me here again for I think the fourth time, can it be?
Yeah, maybe.
To the audience which haven't heard about me or don't know me, I'm Paulo Lopes. I'm the CEO of Casaiberia. Casaiberia is a real estate company with 7 offices in Portugal, 1 in Lisbon and the rest in the Algarve. We are very active on the international platform or internationally, mainly in the European area, like in Germany, like in France, Belgium, Denmark, but now as well in the Eastern countries like Poland, Czech Republic, and we have been as well in Budapest some weeks ago on our big global symposium of the leading real estate companies of the world, which we are as well proud members. And myself, I'm one of the global ambassadors of this association, which is an association with 550 companies worldwide, in the US, but as well in the Asian area, Europe and Middle East, and Africa as well, which I like a lot. I've met some new colleagues from Africa as well in Budapest, and I think it's a really exciting market, as well as the South American market. So the world is coming together as well in real estate. Shifting capital from one side to the other is, I think, in the next few years, very important. We have to see that Europe is still a secure haven, independently from the war that we have in the Ukraine. But the real estate investment in Europe and in Portugal is still maintaining high interests worldwide.
Perfect. I'm always happy to hear that there's an international driving force in real estate, which gives me confidence of the unique value proposition of HalloCasa. You are very present in press releases, in newspapers, in articles. You are actually a very strong figure in the real estate, in the real estate landscape. You know a lot also about the macroeconomic trends, not only in Portugal, but also overall now with your international exposure. Let's talk Portugal. How has been the market so far? We are now in October 2024. And where do you see it going?
Well, first of all, we have to go, I think, 9 months back or 12 months back, where there were taken decisions by the former government, which irritated our real estate industry in Portugal, but not only that. It has created a certain uncertainty for investors investing in our country, which was followed by, for us, 25% of less sales than the year before until now. I hope we can recover that until the end of the year, because we are seeing some good signs, but not in the internal market, like the Portuguese market or Portuguese buyer market, but more by the international interest in Portugal. But for international investors, you have to have security when you invest in the country, and you cannot hear about that you cannot rent out for tourism if you want, with the ALs not being considered by the government, by the earlier government. This government is trying to change some things, but they are a minority government, so they have difficulties with that. The other thing was the cancelling of the NHR, which was the non-habitual resident program, which brought a lot of foreign investors buying properties in Portugal, but as well living in Portugal and spending money in the Portuguese economy. So these two things, that's the reason why I say we have to go 12 months back, were the reasons that we had a really bad starting in the year. and it has gone until the summer, I must say. If I heard sometimes colleagues saying that they have the best year, well, I'm sorry for that, but if you go to the statistics, the Portuguese statistics or the Eurostat statistics, and you can see how much transfers of properties we have seen this year. There was much less than in the past, and as well, the licenses and the bureaucracy is not helping us to get the stock that we need to serve the interests that we have. And that comes to the another question I think that you want to make is why didn't we have a downcoming of the prices in real estate in Portugal? Well, it's simple because the Portuguese property market or real estate market is depending every day more from the international interest. And the international interest is high, and the demand is high, and we do not have the stock to serve this demand. So the prices are maintaining high, but we don't have stock enough to make the transferences that we need.
Where do you see it going? Now we talked a bit like in the past, what happened now. Where do you think, or how do you think will the year end? And also maybe going towards Q1 2024, where do you see there the driving forces?
Okay. Well, in generally, we have heard yesterday that the European Central Bank has put 25 points down the interest rates of the Euribor, which will help in getting back some confidence in the buyer scene to look at buying in properties or investing in properties. I see 2025 different than 2024 in much more positive way, because the wars and the geopolitical situation that we have in the moment, the American presidency, which is to be decided in the next 30 days, the war in Israel, which affects us if we want or not in one or another form. Eventually, an oil crisis that can happen because of the situation between Israel and Iran, and we are waiting for the strike that can happen. And the Ukrainian war, which is affecting as well us, as I heard today as well. North Korea is getting in that war with soldiers to support the Russian army. So there is a lot of things happening. But if I quit that and I look only to that what the investors are looking for to get money back from their investments, I think Portugal is still a secure haven for investors. The German and the French real estate market is coming back slowly, as well as the Dutch. And with that, I see that in the next few months, the confidence to invest in real estate, generally in Europe, will grow. We are seeing as well that American funds are looking again to Europe, to invest in Europe. And so on, the particular follows normally the trend of the funds. So I'm looking at the 2025 with much better selling values, higher selling values, but as well more transactions during the next year. That what I'm seeing at the moment.
Separating this one geographically, do you think there's a certain area which is in higher demand than another one? You're in the south of Portugal. Is it a difference towards Lisbon area, or maybe going up to Braga and Porto?
Well, generally the Algarve is a stable market because you have every 15 years, I used to say every 15 years, the people sell their houses here, especially the foreigners, and there comes the next charge of foreigners looking for these properties to buy. But what I see and what I've seen, I think 10 years ago, and nobody was really believing in me, is that not only the Algarve is a second home anymore, the whole of Portugal is a second home for foreigners. I have a house 150 kilometers from Lisbon away, Torres Novas, which is near Fatima. And I go to a supermarket in Entroncamento, and I heard English voices, French voices, German voices. And I know that there is a growing community of foreigners around near the Tejo River in Barquinha, growing. And that happens in other places in Portugal as well. So it's not only Lisbon, it's not only Porto, it's not only Braga, it's not the Algarve. In my point of view, the next 10 years, Portugal will be the place to be in general for foreigners. And I don't see that this will quit or that it will come down or will go back in like it was in 30 years ago. Portugal will grow in the offer for foreigners to live here. And we have to be prepared. As well, the Portuguese society has to be prepared. The Portuguese government has to be prepared. We have to create spaces that the Portuguese inhabitants, the Portuguese nationals, have opportunities to maintain their lifestyle, to have their properties, that the young people have their properties. But only shouting loud that everybody has to have a property is not the solution, but eventually investing in cooperative companies that support a rental market that is open to everybody and that younger people can have their own property living in that and not having the ballast or the heaviness of a credit for their lifetime, 40 years paying a credit for a house. I think we have to look at markets like the Belgian market, like the German market, like the French market, where we have a property ownership market, but we have as well a rental market. And that's missing in Portugal because the banks have taken that a lot of years ago for their own, giving and serving with low interest rates or with long-term credits this market so that the people don't think about having a rental opportunity.
You just mentioned offers before. What's the status there regarding new developments in houses? Is there a lot of construction going on, or is it stagnant? How can I imagine that?
Well, first of all, since the subprime, the banks have changed their form how they give credits away to construction builders. So the construction builder has to buy the land before he gets a credit for the construction. That's first. Second, during the COVID time and before of that, and then after that, I will not say that the bureaucracy has grown. It has grown the leviandade, we say in Portuguese. It's the common thinking of, if I don't do it today, I do it tomorrow in the public departments which give away the licenses for the construction. Okay, the architectures, the urban responsibility, the urbanistic responsibles in the city halls, they have not managed it very well in the past to give the license faster away so that you can build. Okay, so construction builders are sometimes buying a property or land and stay with that for 2, 3, 4 years until they have the licenses together. So that costs a hell of money, okay? And it's taking capital away from these construction builders so that they cannot build for cheap. They have to build for high end because if not, they cannot cover their own costs. So coming now to your question, sorry, because I wanted to explain why. What we have is we are building very high-end properties and high-end apartment blocks and high-end offer. which will not serve the general Portuguese public, okay, because
Mhm.
they cannot afford it, okay. I don't know if the whole park of properties that are being built now will be absorbed immediately. In long term, for sure. In long term, for sure, because the price, if the property has not the price at the moment, the price comes to the property during the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what we have at the moment is less construction, not construction for the Portuguese market, more for the foreign market, and generally in places like Lisbon, Porto, and less in the outskirts.
Regarding the inventory, maybe you can pick a certain area of your preferences. How much inventory is right now in the market to sell? You might have some data or access to some data points which a normal person like me doesn't, because we know that platforms like Idealista and stuff, they're not really updated, or maybe there's also like a lot of redundancy. How much is really being transacted in a certain area during a month? So how much market volume is actually in this entire area?
Um, I was not prepared to that question, I must say. Sorry for that. There is one place where you can get that numbers, which is the confidential immobiliaria, and I have that data, but not in my head.
And
Um,
on top of your head, like, is it 5,000 listings in the entire Portugal area, or is it 50,000? Anything which we can basically get an idea about?
it's very difficult to say. It's really very difficult to say. The reason is that we don't have that exclusive market like in other countries. You see in Idealista 10 real estate companies promoting the same property. And then imagine you have a building of 15 apartments, yeah, and these 15 apartments appear like 150 apartments in the same place to offer
Mhm.
because there are 10 real estate agents making the same promotion of the same properties. So it's very difficult to give you an exact number. It's difficult. I can't give you the right number. I only
But
can tell you that I have 540 properties in my portfolio, all with a contract and for sale. But I don't know how much exists in the total on the Algarve. If I go to the Idealista, I think I will find 25,000 or something like that. Cut it down by 10, eventually you have a number of the reality.
okay, makes sense. But it's good that you actually also show that it is a very opaque market, and this is obviously also, on the one hand, maybe a market opportunity for some
I
people, for
can
some solutions.
look
But
in Faro district. We have properties for sale by Idealista 22,850.
mhm,
Okay.
yeah,
In the Algarve, we have only in the Algarve nearly 10,000 brokers. Cut it down.
10,000 brokers in the Algarve. Okay.
Yeah. And these are not numbers from today. They are numbers from 2 years ago. In the meantime, I think we have more of that, more
Yeah.
than that.
Give us an overview of Casaiberia. What are the services? Let's say I am someone in Florida. I don't want to buy in California, actually. I prefer to fly over the ocean and want to buy in Portugal. What are the service offerings you can give to a person like that who is really interested to buy one of your listings you're right now having in your inventory?
Well, first of all, we speak in 7 mother languages. So we cover different languages, and usually our professionals, if they come somebody from France or from Canada or from the US, we put somebody part which understands the culture and the language of these countries. That's the first point where we start. Second is we cover the whole Algarve. If we don't have the property, we ask colleagues or other brokers if they have the right property. So we try to make the most personal service possible. Third, we have different lawyers on the whole Algarve coast, but as well in Lisbon, with whom we work, which gives or add a certain value to us by not covering the usual values, but for our clients having a different offer and lower rates in paying their services. The next is the service to our clients does not end with the selling of a property. In my point of view, it starts there, because after that, there will be much more things that they will need. They need a hairdresser, they need a mechanic, they need a doctor, they need a clinic, they need anything else. They know that we are there to support them, to help them, okay? It's like every client which comes to Casaiberia is treated like a friend, because if we treat him like a friend, he will bring his friends with him, and that is in general that what we have testimonies about. And we have our own magazine now. 3 in 3 months we publish a magazine with information about Casaiberia, but as well what we do, what our clients say about us, but on the same time as well partnerships that we have with wineries, restaurants, or others talking about Portugal and how it is nice to be and what can be their offers to our clients. So we have, for example, in our last magazine, we had a winery given 20% on discount on their high-end and quality wines. Before of that, we had Vidigator as well. Then we have the touring hotels, which have written in our magazine. Pestana will be one of the next. So we are very interactive with the community. So to integrate as well our clients to this community.
Paulo, I know your time is very limited. I appreciate
For you always. For you, I have always time.
I appreciate your expertise always. I love the market updates. I really always am very pleased to talk to you and get your expertise regarding the Portuguese real estate market.
Only one thing, Les. I write for the Portugal News, as you said on the starting. So if you want to hear more about Portugal and more information about Portugal, so go to the Portugal News. We publish in 14 languages, and I'm very proud and happy to be a part of this team, which is showing the world what this country can offer to them.
Perfect. Paulo, I put the various links into the show notes. We stay in touch, and I'm sending the best regards to the Algarve. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description.